The spy system in Hearts of Iron 4 is one of the most underutilized tools that people have available to them. Understanding it and using it correctly can help you win more games, and today I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about it. We're going to go over how to create an agency and upgrade it, how to get more spies, how to use those spies, as well as the cryptology system. Diving right into it, to create your spy agency, click on this little eye icon at the menu at the top of your screen, and then click on the Create Agency button. It'll give you the option to name your agency, and it's going to use 5 of your civilian factories over 30 days to create. Once complete, you'll have options to recruit a spy after 30 days, just for the sake of the demonstration, that happens instantly here, as well as upgrade the different branches in your agency as well. We'll come back to these, but firstly, let's go over how to use your spies. You'll see at the bottom of the screen, you'll have this little flashing icon, the little plus button here, showing that you can recruit a new operative. Once you click that, you see that we've got quite a few different options to choose from. Spies have levels and traits, with traits being the main thing that you need to look for. The best practice is to pick a spy either with the seducer trait, or if that isn't available, just pick a spy that's got the most traits available to them. For now, we'll just pick this guy. At the moment, we only have one spy. You get your first one for free, and you can get a second one by researching 5 agency upgrades. Let's do that quickly here. And now we have our second operative slot. Once you have a spy agency, you also unlock access to the elusive gentleman in your advisor panel. This guy gives you access to 1 extra operative and also reduces the amount of time it takes for your upgrades to be completed. From here, we can also get more spies by becoming the spy master of your faction, which you can see at the top here next to our agency name. Being spy master gives you 1 extra slot per 2 faction members that are either free nations or high level puppets. There's also an industry requirement, so you might need 2 or more smaller nations with less than 50 factories to count as 1 faction member that might have more than 50. So, for example, if we were to add France in our faction, that would count as 1 nation. However, if we were to add Austria and Hungary or Bulgaria and Turkey, they would still only count as like 1, the equivalent of France. As the UK, you can see that we've pretty easily gotten to 4 slots, and you can do this quite early on. Some political focuses also increase this for some nations, particularly as the Soviets, they do have quite a lot of them. Spies can complete missions or operations, and if we click on one of the spies that we just recruited, you can see the available missions that we can assign them to here. The first on the left is the counter-intelligence mission, which makes it harder for the enemy to get intel on you and to complete operations. In the agency upgrades menu, the passive defense upgrade also increases this, and the interrogation techniques upgrade increases the chance of capturing an enemy spy in your territory. The main mission that you'll be using is second from the left, and that is the build intel network. If you click on that mission, you can see the highlighted states that we can put our spy in to begin building a network. Doing so has a few effects. If we pop him in Paris and then just let the game play, that network will build up quite quickly, and we can see the benefits. Also, adding multiple spies to the same state increases the rate at which they would build the network. However, this is in a diminishing return sort of way. So our first spy increases by 0.4 per day, the next one 0.2 per day, then the next one 0.1 per day, and then the final one actually doesn't increase the network strength gain at all. One benefit of building a network is that it gives you access to a lot more intel on that particular nation. If we open up France's intel ledger here, we now have a much higher percentage of intel for each category. You can increase the percentage for each branch by researching the relevant upgrade in your upgrade tree. Having an intel network also provides combat bonuses for you and penalties for the enemy. Each state that has one of these dotted lines going from it also receives some of these benefits, but in the target state, you'll get the full bonus of that 100% strength. If we have a look here, you can see that we get a 100% bonus to our naval invasions, which works to negate the naval invasion penalty that you get, as well as increasing your planning speed. The most important thing here, however, is the minus 100% reduction to the enemy's planning bonus. Yep, you heard me, you can completely remove an enemy's planning bonus with your spies, and it also significantly reduces their entrenchment, so this decreases it by -5. So if your enemies have an entrenchment of 10, then that would be reduced to level 5. Moving your spies to just behind the enemy's front line can give you a huge advantage, particularly in a war of attrition where you're on the defensive, such as the Soviets against Germany or China against Japan. Having an intel network also opens up access to operations, which is the other action that you can assign your spies to, but we'll circle back to this. The other remaining missions that we have are Quiet Intel Network, which maintains your network level without actually growing it, and it also removes the risk of your spy being caught. However, you lose any of the combat bonuses. Whenever a spy is on a mission other than this in a nation's territory, there's a chance that they'll be captured. You can reduce this chance both with the S-Pills upgrade and the localized training centers. S-Pills also has a small chance of your spies unaliving themselves rather than being captured, which saves you having to wait the crazy amount of time for them to escape. It's something like 200 days or something like that. Particularly if you only have one spy, it can really put a stranglehold on your efforts, waiting for them to escape after all that time or be killed or whatever. The localized training center allows you to recruit a spy from the nationality of any nation of your starting continent, which both reduces their capture chance when operating in that country and also increases their intel gain. This is pretty much mandatory to spy on the Soviets. To recruit a spy of a particular nationality, simply research the upgrade and then pop into your decisions tab, and then once every 30 days or so, you'll have this decision pop up where you can recruit a new spy of this particular nationality. For example, if we click on the Soviet spy here, and then if we come back in to recruit our new spy, down the bottom, we have a Soviet nationality spy available. You also have access to the Boost Ideology mission, which increases your ideology in the target nation. You can see here that we would increase democracy by 0.06 per day. The stronger the network you have, the stronger the gain will be. You can also do the Boost Propaganda mission, which reduces both war support and stability on a weekly basis. If we open up France's diplomacy menu here and hover over their stability, you can actually see that there is a weekly decrease due to foreign propaganda for both their stability and war support here. Root Out Resistance is a mission that you can operate in your occupied territory to reduce the resistance level in that state. Control Trade just simply makes it that more of that nation's resources are available to you. And finally, the Diplomatic Pressure allows you to slowly increase that nation's opinion of you. If we pair that with Improved Relations and then hover over something like the Non-Aggression Pact, you can see that we have a Diplomatic Pressure increase as well as the Improved Relations. Pairing the Improved Relations with Diplomatic Pressure will open up some options to you that may not have been available before. In the Agency Upgrades menu, you can make these missions more effective with the Anti-Partisan, Diplomatic Training, and Psychological Warfare upgrades. So, now you know about the missions, let's go over the operations. When you open up your Spy Agency menu, you'll see two tabs here, one for Operations and one for Crypto. No, not that crypto, but we'll get around to that later. Operations require a minimum network strength, usually around 50%, as well as multiple spies, the use of some civilian factories and equipment, such as guns or support equipment. Some of these missions, such as the infiltrate ones, will also increase your intel level for those particular branches in the ledger. Once you have a really high network strength, you can see what focuses a particular nation is completing, as well as their research and equipment counts. One of the most powerful uses of spies is to steal blueprints. To do so, you'll need at least 3 spies, and first you'll have to infiltrate the branch that you want to steal from. The way this works is, once the mission is complete, you have a chance to gain any technology that that nation has that you don't, or a research boost within that branch of research. For example, if I wanted to steal industrial blueprints, I've already infiltrated the civilian administration, which gives me access to this operation. If we click onto prepare, you can see that it's going to use 4 civilian factories over 15 days, and it's going to take 120 days to complete. So if we assign our operatives to this, commence when ready, and click prepare, and then play the game, you can see that over time, it'll prepare the operation, and then it will automatically commence it. Once this mission's been completed as well, you lose the intel that you gained from infiltrating that particular branch. So if you want to steal more blueprints, you'll have to complete that infiltrate mission again, most likely, and then steal the blueprints once more. You can also see the little steps that the operation takes to complete. It doesn't really have any impact on the game itself, but it's kind of fun to read through what your spies are doing to be able to bring those plans home. Just before this operation is completed, I want to jump into the tech tree to show you what we have access to currently. So currently we don't have any research boosts. These are the technologies that we have available. And then if we unpause the game and let this operation complete, we've stolen the fuel refining 2 technology from France, which, if you have a look at it, is actually really good. Like, that would take 200 and something days to research. So you can sort of see how this is going to be beneficial. There are also 2 upgrades which make your blueprint stealing more effective, and that is both Invisible Ink as well as the Blueprint Stealing Tech. This increases your chance of getting better technologies or higher percentage research boosts. Now, if we jump over to the Soviets, there's actually an operation available to the communist and fascist ideologies, which democratic countries can't access. That is the Collaboration Government. This is both expensive to complete, but also really beneficial. It does utilize a lot of civilian factories over a long period of time, as well as needing a decent amount of infantry equipment and support equipment. And that also increases, like the requirement increases every time you want to do another level of collaboration. The way this works is it increases compliance in a target nation once you capitulate them, as well as reducing their surrender limit. The way it works is each individual operation will increase collaboration by a certain percentage. You can see what collaboration government progress you have in this little menu here in your political menu. If we were to annex Poland here without any collaboration governments, we can see that our compliance is at 0%. And if we play the game a little bit, our resistance is going to start gradually rising in all of these states. We also only have access to about 10,000 of their manpower, 25% of their factories, and 45% of their resources. However, if we jump over to this save game I have, where we've got 100% collaboration in Poland, and then we were to annex them, you can now see that we have 100% compliance. We've got access to 160,000 of their manpower, as well as 99% of their factories, and somehow over 100% of their resources. They're somehow creating extra resources to give to us. They're that compliant. Collaboration governments also reduce the surrender limit for target nations, which makes it much easier to capitulate them when you're at war. This comes in especially handy if you want to annex a territory, rather than just puppeting it and taking war reparations as well as their resources. And for example, if you're playing as Germany and you work on a spy agency from the very beginning of the game, you should be able to get a full collaboration government on France and partly get a collaboration government on Poland before you go to war in 1939. There are plenty of other operations that you can do, but the last one I'm going to show you is how to stage a coup. To pull this off, you need more than 20% of your ideology in the target nation, as well as less than 70% stability for them if they're a minor, or less than 50% stability for them if they're a major. I've just gone in here and tanked the German stability down to help us out. If we want to run this mission, we need to choose which state that it's going to begin in. And like, this is which state that our friendly government is going to rise up in. So let's choose just here on our border, and then we'll assign our operatives that we want to run. And you can see that it is going to cost us a mountain load of infantry equipment. Now, usually this would take 180 days for this to prepare and launch in game. However, I've got the cheats on to get this to fire instantly. So, perfect. That civil war has gone. So just put in 180 days have passed. You can see now that a coup has been launched with our friendly communist government against the fascist German leadership. So yeah, this is just a really fun mechanic that you can play around with, try different things, you know, launch coups in all sorts of random countries and see how you go. You can always lend lease them equipment as well as sending them volunteers. You generally won't be able to invite them into your faction when they're in a civil war. But if you have some really strong volunteers that you can send, you can really help, you know, sort of reshape the world a little bit without actually justifying and declaring on people. Finally, we have Cryptology. The bottom row of upgrades affect the power of your Cryptology, crypto, whatever. The first one creates your department and allows you to start decrypting the cipher of other nations, which you can do so by clicking on this icon, which appears over the capital of whichever country you want to decrypt. Once that's completed, it gives you an additional bonus to intel for that country, as well as an air detection bonus too, and that's just the passive effect. You also have the option to activate a decryption bonus, which lasts for 30 days and increases your planning speed against that target nation. It decreases the naval invasion penalty, as well as giving you an extra 15% extra defense and breakthrough. So it can be good to activate them before a major push, or if you're being attacked. Be aware, however, after the 30 days that you'll have to decrypt the enemy again. You have the option to increase your cryptology level and reset any progress against your ciphers the enemy might have made with these two right-hand upgrades here, the cipher school and machine-assisted encryption. What that means is right before you go to war with a nation, if you complete one of these upgrades, if the enemy has decrypted you, their progress will be reset and they lose all their bonuses. So don't do these upgrades straight away. Do all of these up to the middle one, including the middle one, but save these for just before you go into a war, or if you're sure that the enemy has broken your cipher. So I hope that helps you use the spy system more effectively. It honestly is one of the most overlooked and underappreciated parts of Hoi 4, and once you start using it, you should notice a substantial increase in your gameplay. You know what else will give you a substantial increase in your gameplay? Liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and commenting below if you'll be taking advantage of this newfound knowledge you have. Also, check out some of my other videos as well as my Twitch. My link is in the description, so stop by and say g'day, and I'll see you in the next one.